Welcome to the Community for Conscious Living weekly live broadcast. Today is Sunday, June 16th of 2019. The Community for Conscious Living is a community dedicated to personal transformation for universal harmony, healing the planet by making inspired changes in ourselves and in our daily lives to create a sustainable environment and a peaceful world. Now, reminder, grab a pen and paper for today's call. So we're going to do a little process and make a list that hopefully will be something personalized to you that you can take away from this call and use beyond this call as you're just going through life in general, because life in general is a journey of healing. So let's go ahead and come into our prayer and healing circle. And let me go ahead and name the topic also. Today's topic is moving beyond trauma, resources to help you through the healing. This is actually a part 2 from last week being June the 9th of 2019. Last week was moving beyond trauma, releasing your identity with the past. And today is moving beyond trauma, resources to help you through the healing. So let's go ahead and come into our prayer and healing circle. So I invite you to gather into the circle with us, and let's just come together sitting side by side, shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow, knee to knee, coming together, and let's take a full and gentle breath together. And as we exhale, let's bring our hearts, the eyes of our hearts, to face toward the center of the circle. Let's bring our faces and our senses to face toward the center of our circle. And take another full and gentle breath, and let's bring your belly, this hara, space in front of your belly to face the center of our circle too, and invite you to really drop in and be grounded and present in your physical body. We're all here together, and together let's call on our source in the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. We call directly on you, and we ask you to please send your resources that are available, that you have put in place to help us on this journey. So we call on our source and all of these resources, and we welcome in to our circle with gratitude and with love. We welcome in the prophets. Peace be upon them all. We welcome in the saints and the perfected ones. We welcome in the angels of healing. We welcome in our guides. We welcome in our helpers and all of the healers and all who are here and available to help us on our healing paths, on our life journeys, on every bit of it. We welcome you. We thank you. We call on you with our will. As human beings, we're given free will. And we are here to, on a journey of trial and error. We happen upon a lot of those things that we end up calling mistakes. And then sometimes we sit and struggle and suffer. And we don't remember that we have all of these resources that we can call on to support us. And because we have free will, for a good part, we have to call on them for support, because they can't override our will. So with our will and our free will, we can choose to call on them and to ask for their help. So I'm going to take a minute right now and just let you call directly to your guides, to your source, to your helpers and healers and angels and all who are present here for you, the saints and the prophets, the perfected ones, all who are here. And let yourself just be face to face with them and heart to heart with them, and call on them for whatever you are needing help with today, help or support with. And I'll just give you a moment. I'll be quiet, because I will in a moment, I really will, and let you ask for help with whatever you are needing and whatever you are feeling in your heart, in your body, in whatever is speaking to you in this moment today. And today we're going to further explore the resources that you have available to you when you're moving through the healing process. Now, this whole support team that we have just called on here is a part of the resources that you have available to you. Now, I know sometimes it's hard to call on that which we can't see and quite possibly have lost trust in, especially if you've experienced a lot of pain and heartache or severe trauma in your life. You might have disconnected from this resource or lost trust in this resource. And when I say disconnected, I mean your conscious perceptions, because in reality, we're never disconnected. We're always connected and not separate from our source and from all of these cosmic beings that are here supporting us and helping us. So I'll tell you what, before we get into the list making part of this, let's take a moment in remembrance of the beautiful attributes of our source that are the attributes, the vibration, the qualities, however you want to think of them. It's like the electricity that runs through all things, connecting us as one and giving life to our physical form, giving consciousness to our physical selves. In the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. Again, we call on you. And now we're calling on the divine attributes of our source, beginning with the attribute of divine light, which is An-Nur, Nur. Calling on your attribute of divine light, your vibration, your quality. Please send this to the center of our circle and fill our entire circle with your quality, your attribute of divine light. An-Nur, An-Nur. And just feel, if you can, or imagine or perceive in whatever way you do, this vibration streaming like a gentle waterfall in whatever way best supports you through your imagination or your perception. Calling on this stream of divine light to fill the entire center of our circle, filling this space, this container, with this vibration of pure divine light, that essence of light, that life force energy that is like the electricity that lights us up, that gives us life, that makes this flesh and bones and all of this that we inhabit, that makes it alive and conscious. An-Nur. Just imagine this filling the entire circle and beyond, so that it becomes a container that is supporting all of us and supporting our circle as well as filling our circle. And again, bring the eye of your heart, that center point of your heart space, that funnel of energy that extends from the front of your chest. Bring that to face into the center of our circle and into this essence, this ocean of divine light. And focus your breath into your heart center so that you're breathing in through your heart center and exhaling through your heart center. This becomes like a breathing portal, breathing in through your heart center, drawing in this vibration of this pure divine light, Anur, drawing this into your heart center. And as you exhale, relax, release, and soften, and allow this like wave motion of your breath to carry with it as it exits, carry with it any of the debris and the clutter from your heart space, returning it to the depths of this divine ocean, returning it to this divine ocean to be cleansed, to be purified. Breathing in this vibration of pure divine light, breathing it deeper into your heart center with each breath, letting it fill your heart, letting it nourish and feed and quench the thirst of your heart. And as you exhale, relax, release, and soften. Again, let it carry with it any of the clutter, any of those blocks and barriers that are ready to be released from the heart, that prevent that flow of divine love and the love and compassion from flowing freely through your heart. Just let those be carried away, let them be cleansed. And as you inhale, again, draw this vibration of divine light into your heart space and let it just pour all the way through your heart space and into your core. You can lean back just a little bit toward the front of your spine. Sometimes it helps to actually align your posture so that your posture is upright, or if you're lying down, just let your energy body move toward your spine and let this stream of divine light stream all the way in to that vertical core in front of your spine and fill all of the core of your being with this pure essence of divine light. And let's call on our source for that essence of unconditional love. And we welcome in that vibration of unconditional love as it joins this stream of divine light. This is the unconditional love that exists regardless of any conditions that we have placed on love in our lives or in our own selves. Whether we believe we're worthy of love or not, whether we believe we deserve it or not, this is the unconditional love. It doesn't care what we think. It just is. It is a pure presence and essence. It is a vibration of divine love. This streams into our circle, filling all of our circle with this pure essence of divine love, Al-Wadud, It's the divine attribute in Arabic, al-wadud. Al-wadud. This fills the center of our circle and beyond to hold and support and encompass all of us in this ocean of divine light and unconditional love. And as you inhale, breathe this in through your heart space, letting it touch into every crevice of your heart space, filling it, touching it with this vibration of unconditional love. And as you inhale deeper into your heart space with each breath, just let this flow to the core of your body, filling all of your core with this vibration of unconditional love, and allowing this vibration of divine light and unconditional love to flow through the core of your being, lighting up your core, healing, soothing, comforting the entire core of your being. This is called the remembrance practice because it is reminding you of the true essence of your being, the being of light, a being of unconditional love. This is the breath that breathes you, the electricity that beats your heart and gives you life and consciousness to your physical form. And we call on our source. We call on that essence of eternal compassion. This is the compassion that is eternal because it is not relevant to our time and space. It precedes us and it outlasts us. It is eternal. And this is that bridge between the worlds, because when we feel separate from love, when we find compassion in our hearts, especially for ourselves, it returns us to love and to unity. We're calling on that vibration of the eternal compassion, the ocean of compassion that we subsist in. And letting this vibration of divine compassion, again, as this streams in to fill our circle and to fill the entire container that holds and supports our circle in each and every one of us. And let your heart space breathe that in to fill your heart with this vibration of the eternal compassion. Breathe this all the way into the core of your being. This vibration of divine light, unconditional love, and eternal compassion streams through the core of your being, lighting you up, filling you, nourishing you, satiating you, quenching your thirst to return to your own pure essence, your original essence that you came into this life with. You came in as a being of divine light, unconditional love, and eternal compassion. Allow this to move and radiate and travel and electrify the core of your being to remind you of the truth of who and what you are as a being of divine light, unconditional love, and eternal compassion. And continue as we move through this call. Let this container, divine light, unconditional love, and eternal compassion. Let this be your container for this call. Let this be the breath that you breathe and the breath that breathes you. You're going to first acknowledge this as a resource that is available for you in your healing journey, in your life journey in general. And we're going to talk more about resources. If you've been on a healing path, you know that sometimes it can be very challenging. The healing in and of itself can be challenging. Sometimes it can feel even more challenging than the original event, because it feels like as you're moving through the memories of the events of your life, and sometimes, a lot of times, they're not conscious memories, but the reactivation of those memories, however they might show up for you, can be scary. Sometimes you don't even realize what is being reactivated, but let me just back up a little bit. If you've experienced trauma in your life, and I believe there's not a human being alive, except maybe, I think the birth experience can be traumatic too, but I don't believe anyone gets out of this life unscathed or untraumatized in some way. The doctor, I believe his name is Gabor Mate, who has some TED Talks and things, and really good talks on that are out and about on the internet. And he defines trauma as anything that separates you from yourself. Anything that separates you from yourself. And when you think about it, our life journey, we come in as beings of light and love and compassion, and we know our connection with Source. A little baby knows it is pure love. It knows it's connected with Source. It just came from that pure connection. And it knows it has not yet awakened its senses to this material realm. It doesn't quite know what's happening here. It still thinks it's a being of light and love and compassion, and yes, it is. And that never stops, no matter how old you get. But it hasn't awakened to this, I'll call it for this moment, this other side, this material realm. Once we are born as these pure beings of light into this material realm, that umbilical cord is cut, and suddenly we are perceiving ourselves as separate. We are here with free will. We are here to individuate and to have our sense of autonomy and to come to know ourselves and who we are as our individual identities. And that's a part of the life journey that we're on. That is just by definition part of what we're here to do. And as we move through this life, we have certain circumstances and things that are going to come about for us that are designed for whatever we're here for, whatever we're here to learn, whatever we're here to be, whatever we're here to do or provide or fulfill in this lifetime on planet Earth. That's all orchestrated. And so we go through a lot of experiences in this world that really can jar the nervous system and jar the senses and take us away from our knowing of that perception, or our knowing of that connection with divine light and unconditional love and eternal compassion. It snaps us out of that and snaps us into this material reality, and we begin to perceive ourselves as separate, and we perceive the world through our senses, and we lose track of the truth of our physical messaging system. And it's probably not a good time to get into that whole story about how how our bodies and our hearts and our nervous systems are really all the time giving us messages about how our spirit is perceiving this outer world that we're in. So I'll just say that much about it. We are spiritual beings integrated into these physical bodies, and these physical bodies have messaging systems, our five senses, our gut instinct, our heart, whether our heart is opening and feeling positive experiences or closing and feeling uncomfortable experiences. Our entire nervous system. All of this is messaging, giving messages to ultimately our spirit beings about the relationship between the spirit, the knowing self, that pure love, and this outer material realm. And it's through this world of contrast that sometimes we experience the bliss, sometimes we experience the terror. And it's through this world of contrast that we come to know the truth of what we contain inside and what we truly are as beings of light. So as we're moving through this life journey, as beings of free will, as beings who are here to experience a sense of separation and contrast, it is by nature or by definition that we will encounter many things that separate us from ourselves or appear to separate us from ourselves so that we can have this experience that we are here to have. Now, on the one hand, you can look at that from a high level and say, okay, that all makes sense. And of course, yes, that's a reality. And then you can go back to yourself and reflect on your life and think, but this is really sick, right? How could a loving God allow these kinds of things to happen? And that's, that's one of the really tough ones, right? And that's part of the crux of the separation. That is the crux of the separation of, well, how can pure light and love and compassion really allow all of this? And that question right there is the one that can really get us stuck in the separation. Okay, and a deep breath. Let's take a deep breath. So it's natural and expected that we will experience things on this journey that separate us from ourselves. And that is whether you consider the traumas in your life to be the kinds of traumas that are so severe that they cause dissociation and flashbacks and all of that, or just the traumas that separate you from the knowing of yourself as a divine being. As you're moving through life and you get to a certain point in life where you say, okay, this isn't working for me anymore to live in this state of separation, and that like something snaps and your heart begins to yearn to return to truth, some element of truth. This is what then starts you on your journey of healing, your journey back to the center of yourself. And as you're traveling back to the center of yourself to know the truth of who you are and your subsistence in and connection to and fortification by your source and your oneness with your source, as you're traveling back, the healing can present many challenges, because it can feel like you're reliving that past. It can feel like you're reliving the traumas. And the truth is, you do not need to remember every little detail about every horror that you experienced in your life. Absolutely do not need to. your nervous system and your body holds on to certain information, and it catalogs that information and it holds on to that state because it is designed to keep you safe and alive in this material realm. And part of keeping you safe and alive is remembering the things that were threatening. So that, it remembers the things that were threatening. It catalogs that information. It catalogs and associates all kinds of information along with it. Smells, pictures, movies, sounds, different things that will, when they are perceived through your senses, another way that you take in information, when those ways that you take in information perceive things that will remind or trigger a memory of a traumatic experience from your past, it's going to reactivate the trauma response in the nervous system, and it's going to call on all of those things that you did to get you through, your defense mechanisms, your coping strategies, all of that, your survival tactics, right? And you are hardwired for safety. And this is in the wisdom of your incredible body. So often in trauma we pathologize, or in life in general, we pathologize these defense mechanisms and survival tactics and coping strategies and a highly activated nervous system and all of this. We pathologize it. We call it a disorder. We put all kind of labels on it, and we think we're broken. But this is the body's wisdom in keeping you safe. So let's take a moment now and give thanks to the body's wisdom for the safety that it has provided. It has gotten you through all of these challenges in your life to date and kept you alive and kept you safe, and this is how it has done it. So let's take a moment and give gratitude to the body and acknowledgement to the body and the nervous system for what it has given, what it provides. And as you're moving through the healing of trauma, part of that is to acknowledge this wisdom of the body and to meet it with love and compassion. And last week we worked with this, meeting it with love and compassion and allowing the nervous system to rest into the acknowledgement, the love, and the compassion. We talked about taking that one step at a time so that it can rest into, kind of like as you meet it, let it rest into the space where it is and let it feel a little more comfort, like it can down-regulate a notch. And then let it get acclimated to that space, so that it can feel, okay, I can let go a little bit and I can feel comfortable here, I can feel safe here, I can trust this space. And then the next time you come and you meet it where it is again, you appreciate it, you love it, you let it feel the support of this divine light and unconditional love and eternal compassion, let it rest into that space and drop another notch down. Okay, and you do that a little bit at a time, stair-stepping, until your nervous system can trust that it does not have to be on high alert in order to keep you safe, that you are safe in this moment. And meanwhile, as you're moving through the healing and you're clearing out the patterning and you're clearing out the pictures and the movies and the, all of those things that may be held in your tissues and in your body and in your memories and in your nervous system, as you're moving through that, sometimes things can pass through that can really reactivate that nervous system and get it like wanting to jump back up. In these times, it's helpful to have resources. And I hope by now you have a pen and paper, because this is where we're going to start to look at what are some of the resources that you have that can help you. Resources are anything, whether it's inside of yourself or outside of yourself or both, that you can call on in a time of activation to help you remember the comforts. Remember things that give you comfort. And we've all had those things, the mercies and the compassions that we've had along the journey. You might have to search for them a little bit, but you've had them along the journey as you've been moving through this life. Perhaps you had someone who was close to you, a friend or an aunt or an uncle or a cousin, or someone who was just somebody who got you and who could see you, or who was someone that could in some way comfort you, even if they didn't know the challenges that you were going through. That somehow a smile from them or warmth or something gave you a sense of comfort, and a knowing that someone was there, or knowing that, well, at least not all the world is horrible. Right? That is an external resource. That's an example of an external resource. Okay, so if you have someone like that, I'll tell you what, if you've got a piece of paper and a pen, make like a T-graph. So you draw a line across the top, and you're going to make 2 columns on the page. Then you draw a line down the middle of the page. And on the left-hand column, you call that external, and on the right-hand column, you call it internal, or vice versa, internal and external. And if you had a relative or a friend or someone like that that was that comfort, you would put that under an external resource. And I'm going to talk, and some of them will actually go under both. For example, the divine attributes that we call on and that we've been working with so far. These are internal and external. So I would put those under both. Both. These are your divine attributes. And what are some of the other things that give you comfort? I'll give you more examples. Physical exercise could be a great stress reliever, a great thing to get you back in your body, a great thing to just move energy that is wanting to move and help it release from your body and feel better. Releases all kinds of great hormones that can help you to feel better. Physical activity, physical exercise. Dancing, any kind of movement. If you have exercises that you do with sound or breath. If you've been in my sound, breath, and movement classes, we use sound codes from the divine qualities. We use sound from the continuum movement classes, and we use micro movement. We use breath. All of those things are great resources for moving energy from your body, helping you reconnect to your body, helping you find those places of comfort inside yourself. Anything of just, standing up and shaking your body, shaking out something that's feeling stuck and wants to move, that's a resource to help you to find some comfort and connection as you're moving through the healing. Other forms of self-expression, whether it's music or singing or dancing or writing or art, these are all forms of resources that are available for you to help you to process whatever's wanting to move and to return to a place something that gives you comfort and connection. Getting out in nature, going for a walk in nature, leaning up against a tree. I've had a number of times when I've been, working with people in healing. I do distance healing as primary. I think one of the primary things that I do is distance healing with clients. And often will recommend that they find a tree that they love and just go lean up against the tree and let the back of the heart lean into that tree and feel that connection with that tree and feel that support from that tree. And just let yourself be held by that tree and feel that connection with the earth through the tree. It's a great resource. So what are the resources that you have available to you? And I invite you to write them down on your paper. And as you're moving through your life, these are things that you can take with you as you're moving, whether you're actively doing healing or you just hit those challenges in life where you feel like, okay, I need to call on a resource for some comfort here and some stability. And this will be a list that you can call on. It's like, okay, enough is enough here, or I'm feeling a little bit overly activated in my nervous system is overly activated and I need some comfort. These are all things that you can call on. Put this list in a place where you can access it and use it. A nice comforting Epsom salt bath with a candle and some soft music or some chanting, whatever it is that you do that gives you comfort. And don't be afraid to try things if, there's some things that are coming up here that sound, that might be interesting. Maybe. I don't know if I could see myself doing that, but, it might be worth a try. Don't be afraid to try things. If you like it, it's great. If you don't, it's okay. But you tried, right? So now you know. So these are all forms of resources that you can call on as things get challenging. So one of the things that we use primarily on this call are the divine attributes. So I want to mention a few specific attributes. We started with divine light, unconditional love, and eternal compassion. Divine light is the sound code for divine light is Nur, N as in Nancy, U-R, Nur. And these are in the sacred language of Arabic. The meaning of a sacred language, the definition of a sacred language is the sound codes that combine to make the words actually call in the frequency, the vibration of the energy that of the thing that it names. So Nur is the sound code for the energy of divine light. Wadud is the sound code for the energy of unconditional love. Wadud. And these are the qualities that we start the calls with. Wadud. And for the eternal compassion, the sound code for the vibration of that ocean of divine compassion, the eternal compassion, is Rahman, Rahman, Rahman. Now the other attributes, let's see, looking time-wise here. I'll just make mention of them and know that they're written in the blog post that goes with this, that can be found on joyfullylivingwellness.com. They're also in the email that was sent out and on the Facebook posts. So the first one is Ra'uf, and we have worked with Ra-oof before, if you've been with us for a while here. Ra-oof. And that is R, A, and then there's the and then oo, and then F. So like R-A, and then like an apostrophe in the English transliteration, and then a U, and then an F as in Frank. Ra-oof. And then the sound code Ra-oof represents the gentle, loving kindness. This brings a gentle, loving, kind softness that is very comforting for the heart and very comforting for the nervous system and the body. Ra-oof. So let's call on the divine attribute of Ra-oof. Ra-oof. Again, we call to our source. We ask for the support of the prophets and the saints and the angels and the perfected ones and all of the guides and the helpers and healers who are here to support us, those of the highest light, supporting our highest light. And we call on the attribute of Ra-oof, the gentle, loving kindness. And just let this vibration of Ra-oof, Ra-oof, just let this come in. And let it surround and hold your heart space. And just feel it even coming, just, be with your own experience of it. I don't want to define your experience for you. But I invite you, if it feels right, to let this just come and create a supportive cloud around you. A pure supportive cloud that can hold you and support you and comfort you. And just feel the most gentle, loving kindness available for you. And let yourself, as best you can, take this in. And again, we mentioned the stair stepping, right? So if it hits a part of your nervous system that says, okay, I can't really trust this, and it starts to rebound, let that be okay. Take a deep breath, return to wherever you are, your physical space. And one of the things that I forgot to mention in the resources, what I have people do in my classes often, is to have something in your physical space. If it's a teddy bear or a picture or something that reminds you of something comforting, that can take you to a place of comfort, something that you can open your eyes and you can look at and you can touch and you can hold. So, if you're near a window and you've got a nice view of a beautiful tree or, something that you can open your eyes and see and hold on to and return you to the present moment, to a safe space, remind you of the safe space that you're in the moment. That's another opportunity for a resource. Another resource that's available to you. And, if you don't have something, find something. Get something and have that in your space. It can even be something that you carry with you. I actually have a pendant. It's a beautiful pendant with the divine name on it. And I carry that in my purse. And sometimes I'll just pull that out and hold it next to my heart. And, it just helps to take me back to that place of just letting my heart come to rest and open so that the love can flow. When I feel that, that place where the heart's getting constricted and the love is not flowing like I like to feel it flowing, I can hold that there and it reminds me, and I just breathe and breathe with it and breathe with it in my heart space and let it return me. So, something physical, or something visual that is with you in your space. Now, the quality of Ra'uf. Feel this gentle, loving kindness holding and supporting you. And again, if it feels like it's too much, open your eyes, connect with whatever it is in your space. Feel your feet on the earth. Touch your feet. Or hold on to something in your physical space to bring you back into your connection with your body, with your physical self. The Ra'uf, the gentle, loving kindness. Let your heart. There's a quote by the poet Rumi that says, "Just because you can't drink." How does that one go? Just because you can't drink all that falls doesn't mean you give up taking sips of rainwater. Just because you can't drink all that falls doesn't mean you give up taking sips of rainwater. So continue to take little sips and let yourself feel even a little bit more of the comfort than what you currently feel. Let yourself take a few more sips until you can trust it, and then a few more sips until you can trust it. And have lots of gentle, loving kindness for yourself as you're moving through this. It can be a slow, step-by-step process. It can be 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 3 steps forward, 1 step back, 4 steps forward, 1 step back, but you're still moving forward, and you're still moving, and you're learning, and you're growing from every bit of it. So our Ra'uf is the gentle, loving kindness. The second quality that I had listed in the email is al-mu'min, and that is M, as in Mary, U, and then another apostrophe, that mu'min, M as in Mary, I, N as in Nancy, M-U apostrophe, M as in Mary, M-I-N, al-mu'min. And al-mu'min is the support. And this is in Neil Douglas Klotz's book on al-mu'min. He says, when you are guided to this pathway, the pathway of al-mu'min, these are the pathways of the heart, al-mu'min, take the opportunity to feel the support of the universe just as surely as you feel the earth under your feet. This is knowing that support of the universe is there for you. This is the guardian of the faith, al-mu'min. Al-mu'min. And feel that support. This is the resource of knowing that you have this entire support team that we've been calling on through this call. You have the earth under your feet. You have the support of the entire universe that is here to support you and hold you and is available for you. So let yourself, the sound of and the sound codes is like the fluid existence, and then the mu is the fully embodied existence. And so this is like really calling on your connection and knowing of yourself as an embodiment of the divine essence, supported by this entire universe. Having faith in your connection and subsistence and oneness with this entire universe of support that is fully present and available for you. Mu'min, mu'min. And the final quality for this call that I wanted to mention is Hafiz, and that's H-A, F as in Frank, I-Z as in zebra, Hafiz, H-A-F-I-Z. And Hafiz is the protector. Hafiz, the protector and preserver. And this is in Neil Douglas Klotz's book. He refers to it as remembrance and preservation. It's the protector, the preserver. It's the remembrance, though, not of all of the tragedies of your life on earth. It is the remembrance of the sacred unity in your inner being. He says, when you are guided to this pathway, take the opportunity to sense the part of you that can quietly and confidently protect the remembrance of sacred unity in your inner being. So this is the remembrance of the sacred unity in your inner being. This is the remembrance of that core that we talk about, and we breathe these divine attributes through your heart center and into your vertical core to activate and enliven the part of you, your core essence that knows your own being as a being of light and love and compassion, connected with and actually breathed into existence from the breath of your source. This is the breath that breathes you, and the electricity that gives you life and consciousness into your physical form. And this is your connection and oneness with the all that is in all things. So this is a knowing of your divine essence, of the truth of who you are, but it's that protection. This is helping you to remember and also giving you protection and preservation within that space. So this is Al-Hafiz. So again, that was Ar-Ra'uf, Ra'uf, the gentle loving kindness, Al-Mu'min, the support and the faith, the trust, and Al-Hafiz, the protection and the preservation of the sacred unity of your own inner being. And the way that you use these qualities is just as we do at the beginning of the call, when we call on divine light, unconditional love, and eternal compassion. You breathe them in. You call on your source and you ask for that essence to stream into the space just in front of your heart. You can have it just, however that experience may be for you. Again, I don't want to define it, but call on it. Just, allow it to come in. Allow it to fill you. Allow it to surround you and hold you and support you. These are resources that are available to you. And there are an infinite number of resources available to you in this form. So we're at the end of our time. So let me just do a quick recap on resources. You have resources that are available to you internally, externally, and both. And hopefully you've made a list of some of the resources, things that you can do to help yourself to find comfort as you're moving through this stair-step journey from a perhaps sense of separation and overly active nervous system, hyperactive nervous system, to a place that is settled within yourself and knowing yourself as one and connected with all that is, and at peace in that place of sacred unity of your inner being. The qualities, first off, resources can be a number of things, from memories of someone or something that brought you comfort to physical objects in your physical space, something you can see and hold on to. It can be those walks in nature. It can be music and art and self-expression. It can be physical activity, exercise, dance. breath and movement, a number of things. So make that list of your resources that you want to have available for you. Keep that handy, and when you feel yourself feeling out of sorts, you can call on something in that list and remind yourself of comfort. Now, the attributes: divine light, unconditional love, eternal compassion, the gentle loving kindness, the support and faith and trust, and the protection and preservation. So, I know that was a lot for today. I hope that wasn't too much for today. But take from it what you can and what you will, and feel free to come back to the recording at any time, and each time you can pick up a little bit more as you're ready for it. Different things will call out to you, and of course we'll continue with these weekly prayer and healing circles. There's many from the past and many more to come in the future, God willing, that will also be available as resources for you. So we'll open for the Q&A now, and if you're listening to the recording, you're welcome to join us live on Sunday mornings, 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. U.S. Pacific Time. If you join us live, you can stay on for the Q&A. We do not publish that with the recording, as that's people's private questions that come up, and we protect that privacy. And if you would like to join us, you can find that information at joyfullylivingwellness.com, joyfullylivingwellness.com. While you're there, you can pick up your copy of the 10 spiritual principles of our human existence. That's just 10 basic principles on one sheet that you can print out and you can look at and remind you of the truth of who and what you are and why you're here and what this journey is about. Because there are way too many things in this world that remind us of other than what the truth, and they're constantly pulling us away from that sacred unity of our inner selves. And so we owe it to ourselves to remind ourselves as much as possible of the truth, to offset all of that bombardment of the things that take you away from truth. So print out as many copies of that as you like. It's the 10 spiritual principles of your human existence, available at joyfullylivingwellness.com. Put copies of it everywhere where you'll see it often, and remind yourself of the truth. And with that, I thank you for being here, and I'll be opening now for the Q&A.